Hi everybody, and welcome to my video. It'll probably be a bit of a long video, this one. So basically it's about changing mindset, and mindset in regards to dating, as well as just relationships in general, really. So I'm by no means an expert, obviously. I'm not a psychologist or a counselor or anything like that, or a life coach, but it's just stuff that I have learnt, I guess, and it's stuff that I'm still learning. I kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit a couple of days ago, and I watched oh boy, hours worth of videos on personality types, as well as learned a lot about limerence, and just dating mindset in general. And watched a couple of videos by a couple of psychologists that I found really, really interesting, and just their whole mindset on the approach to dating, and everything was just really interesting. So I just kind of wanted to share, I guess, with you, if that's okay. So now I'm going to take you to the psychologist's story, right? Now, obviously, I'm going to paraphrase this, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying, okay? So I've actually got the letter here, and I'm gonna read it out to you. I was writing, like she was reading the letter, and I was just writing. So it's like an overview of the actual letter, but you'll get the gist of it. And obviously I'm paraphrasing the actual letter, so it's kind of in my own wording. Hi, this may be a long shot, but I don't know what else to do. I have been friends with this girl for 6 years. Pretty long time to be friends with someone, right? I have watched her go through relationship after relationship, none of them really lasting past a year. That, to start with, is super sad. I believe I'm in love with her. We connect well, have similar goals, and just love each other's company. That's beautiful. About 2 years ago, I told her how I felt. 2 years ago you told this person how you felt, right? And obviously while I'm writing this down, I'm also making comments to the TV. I told her how I felt and that we should give it a go. She said, I can't. I only see you as my friend. Oh, I can't imagine how he felt when she told him that. Oh, yes, I can. I was heartbroken, and just pushed my feelings away. Buddy, when you're in love with somebody, you can't... Sorry. This is what I said to Buddy, when you're in love with somebody, you can't just push those feelings away. Eventually they might dissipate, when you know for sure that the other person isn't reciprocating those feelings. They will just fade away eventually, because you can't chase somebody who doesn't want to be chased, and who won't reciprocate it, because you're banging your head against a brick wall, basically, right? This was my mindset on that, and that will come into play, right? I only see you as a friend. I was heartbroken, just pushed my feelings away. I have dated over the last 6 years, but nothing serious. Could not commit to anything serious because I am in love with this girl. We are now both currently single. How can I get her to change her mind about me? So how can he get his... So obviously this psychologist, she's quite witty and quite a good psychologist, but she, in my head, and I'm talking to the TV obviously, because that's saying, I was basically saying, you can't change somebody's mind. 6 years, man. Like 6 years. And 2 years ago you told her how you felt and she said no. How do you think you're going to change her mind, out of curiosity? Like, this is me talking to the TV. Don't judge me. But I was like curious. I'm like, okay, what is she going to say to this? Because like, how do you get to change somebody's mind on that, right? I don't think you can, personally. Like, if they haven't fallen for you already and they don't have those feelings for you, then how the hell are you meant to change their mind? her answer was really interesting, and it really was food for thought. Like, her mindset in relation to this letter, etc., was really interesting, right? For the purpose of the letter, I'm going to call this dude Harry, right? So basically, this lady, psychologist, she's a psychologist, she's a doctor, she said to him, "You can't change her mind." I'm like, duh. But she said, "You can change each other's mindset." I'm like, eh? Like, uh-huh. Like, I'm listening. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, and so basically, so I wrote down like what she kind of said, but I'm just going to say it in my own words because I don't really like reading from a book when I'm talking to you. So hopefully I make sense here. So she said to him, when you go on activities together, when you go to lunch together, both of your mindsets, particularly her mindset, is I'm going to lunch with my friend. I'm going, for, to a concert with my friend. Not my lover, not somebody I'm dating, with my friend. So that is her mindset. So she's not seeing you romantically at all. She's not seeing or feeling those in love feelings for you because she's only seeing you as her friend. Again, I'm like, no duh. So she said, but together, if she's willing to give it a go, you can change your mindset. Again, I was like, huh? Like, and she said, let me explain it to you. If you are both parties have to be okay with this, right? It can't be just one person. If he's already in love with her, obviously his mindset is already, I'm in love with this person. I'm in love with who they are. I'm in love with everything about them. I'm attracted to them, the whole 9 yards, right? But actually part of that letter, which I missed out, was like, she'd said, oh, we haven't even been intimate. We're not intimate with each other. We're not like that, right? And in his letter, he was like, I don't think she remembers, but like when we were drunk, we slept together once. For me, that was like, amazing. Like it made me fall for her even more, but she didn't remember it, which was a little bit heartbreaking to hear, and sad, very sad for him because he's been holding on to that, like, and she may remember it. In all honesty, she probably does remember it, buddy, but she's probably blocked it out, and it was like a one-time thing and she was drunk, so she probably passed it off as that, right? It's kind of what we tell ourselves to be okay with it, right? But for him, it just made his feelings deeper, right? So this psychologist said, you need to go to her, sit down with her and say, hey, I still have those feelings for you. Hear me out. Just hear me out. And if she's really your friend, she'll hear you out, okay? And he said, the psychologist said, Harry, you need to go to her and say, can we work together on changing our mindset to see if this is something real, to see if we have something real, to see, I believe I'm your soulmate. And if I'm not, then, we will still have this friendship, right? Go to this person and say, instead of going to dinner tonight as my friend, can you look at it as, I'm going to pick you up and take you to dinner as my date? Okay. I'm like, how does one word change somebody's mindset, right? This psychologist is like, this has been proven. She said, this has happened. She said it happened to her, right? She was dating, she was dating her friend's brother or something. I don't really remember that part. And they'd been known each other for years, right? And she always just saw him as her friend's brother. and he would ask her out all the time. Oh no, you're my friend's brother, like nothing there kind of thing. And then he said, can you just see me as a date just for one night? See me as a man, just a man, right? So the psychologist said, Harry, go to this girl, sit down with her, say, hey, can I take you out on a date? Can you go in with the mindset that I'm taking you on a date? Now, when that happens, when you go and go, I'm going on a date, I'm not going out to dinner with my friend, I'm going on a date. You go in with new eyes. I know that sounds stupid. It sounds stupid to me even. And obviously I've never tried this, so I don't know if it works or not. But it's an interesting concept, right? And it's an interesting way to think about things. Go into that, and if she agrees, and the psychologist said, if this person's your friend, and she is attracted to you in any way, shape, or form, and obviously you have connection and all of that already, you've got the groundwork there. If she has that for you already, I think she'll be willing to give this a go, right? And you might be afraid of losing the friendship or something like that, but like the psychologist said, and that can be a true fear, right? But the psychologist said, you know, what is meant to be in your world and surround you, the people that are meant to be surrounding you will always surround you, no matter how much of a knock your relationship takes. If they're meant to be in your world, they'll be in your world. That was like, okay. It was really interesting. It was like I was like stuck to the TV, right? Like listening, like, okay. So basically, she was saying, like, you know, you've got nothing to lose by trying this. Go into it looking at each other as dates, like romance, right? And you will find, if you are looking at it like that, it might take 1 date, 2 days, it might take a few dates to change your mindset completely. You'll find when they touch you, it'll feel different. When they look at you differently. When you walk together, your energy is different. Your electricity with each other is different. You will find that, you will comfort them differently. All of that will be different, and then that will progress if they are your soulmate, or if they are you are falling in love with each other. That will turn into pure love, pure connection, and pure love. And if it doesn't, and it might not, you might just have limerence with her, like, she might be just a limerent object to you. And if she is your limerent object, then going through this, and if it doesn't work out, and you realize that there isn't a romantic connection there, or whatever, that like there really isn't one, or sexual connection as well, that's got to be part of it, right? If that's not there, then one, that'll burst your limerent bubble. It will, because that will be your mindset, right? It'll go like it'll pop and go, okay, this person is just my friend. I'm not actually in love with them. I was in limerence with them, right? And I'll go over limerence and stuff in another video. It's really quite interesting. I will give you a little bit of a brief description of what limerence is, just for the purpose of this video, so you're not like, what the hell is she talking about? Even though you know how to use Google, just saying. But if that is in fact how you end up, it'll go one of two ways. You will get your friend back, just being your friend, and you will be there for her, and she will be there for you, and it will open you up to actually falling in love with the person you're meant to be with, if that's not her and you're not that for her. And if you are that for her, then you've just found your soulmate. How beautiful is that, right? I don't know if it would work. I hope it, I mean, it did for the psychologist. Obviously, it did for the psychologist. I don't know if that's a one-off thing or not. But it was an interesting concept. It was an interesting, like, way of looking at things. I would never have looked at it that way at all, right? But she also said something really interesting. And she said, like, if that person isn't your person, if that person isn't your soulmate, and you go back to just being really good friends, it'll deepen your friendship. Not only will it deepen your friendship, but every relationship she has, and every relationship you have, you won't be wondering what could have happened between us. That won't be in the back of your mind anymore. It will be clear. No, we are just meant to be friends. We are just meant to be friends, right? And so everything you go through in your relationships, she can be genuinely there for you. Everything you go through, she goes through in her relationship, you can genuinely be there for her, and that will just deepen your friendship. And it won't be like, that what if it won't be there anymore, because you will have realized that you gave it a go and it didn't work, and you truly did just have a friendship. And that is mindset, right? That is powerful. That is a powerful mindset. First of all, it's a powerful mindset because you have to change your mindset from this person is just my friend to this person is one of my closest friends and potentially my soulmate. I want to see where this goes. I want to date this person. That is the mindset you have to change into, right? And changing your mindset from 6 years of being friends with somebody, okay, this guy's in love with her, or he thinks he's in love with her, or he's in limerence, I'm not sure. But I don't know the dude. Sorry, Harry. But for her, I mean, maybe she secretly loves him and just doesn't want to risk the friendship. I don't know. I don't know her either. We'll call her Betty. Betty, I don't know you. But that's if she isn't or doesn't have love feelings for him, or romantic feelings, or whatever you want to call them, right? If she doesn't have that, that's a hard mindset to change. But what does she have to lose? She's not going to lose a friendship, because if somebody's your friend, they're going to be your friend. Like, I'm friends with all my exes because it didn't work for a reason, but I still care about them. So I'm still, we were friends for a reason as well, right? Like, that's always been my mindset on that kind of thing, right? So, but for her to change her mindset to going, I'm going to date this person now. Like, we're going to date, we're going to do romantic things. We're going to, touch each other differently, instead of, instead of just like hanging out, whatever, it will be different. And that will either be like, no, I'm really still not feeling this. And the psychologist said you need to give it at least 3 to 6 months to really, because you're changing a mindset of 6 years, man. So you really need to give that time, right? So, that's a tough mindset to change. But if it works, and this woman has had Betty has been dating non-stop, pretty much. Like, relationships that just keep failing, and she keeps getting more and more jaded and upset, and she's like, I don't know, I'm guessing here she's getting upset, but he said she's always heartbroken, so I'm going to imagine so. And it breaks his heart to see that happen as well, because first of all, she is his friend, and second of all, he thinks he's in love with her. So that's got to be tough to see. And he's dating, but he's not leaving himself open for love, because he thinks he's still, he may very well be in love with this woman, right? So he's not opening himself up to anybody else at all. Dating, which I'm guessing means like taking people on dates and pretty much sleeping with them. I don't know. Sorry, Harry, if that's not factual. you know, so he is missing out a little bit, right? So for them just to try it, I think it just like, you know, it's probably worth it for them, right? I don't know. I'm just, what would I know? I don't know, in all honesty, but like, you know, it's interesting the mindset of people, and and how strong it can be, right? Like it's I'm intrigued by it. Um, and she did say, the psychologist lady said, she wrote to Harry and said, let me know how it goes. So I'm just going to keep checking in, like, you know, kid in a candy store, waiting for waiting for the goss, to know whether or not this worked out or not, I suppose. But yeah, I hope it does. I hope it works for Harry and Betty. But and if not, then I really hope you know, he finds love and she finds love, and you know, and their friendship is pretty much solid for life, I suppose. So anyway, guys, I rambled a bit. Sorry, I do that. So that's kind of like what I'm learning about mindset and how people go into relationships and all of that. Like, it's for me, it's quite interesting. I did tell you I will tell, like, let you know what limerence kind of means. Go more in depth in another video, but basically limerence is when it's usually you know, a connection based, like you are missing something in your life. Sorry, I'm not explaining this very well. You are missing something, and it can be, limerence can be, when you're in limerence with someone, it can be romantic. It cannot be romantic, by the way. It can just be, it's an attachment. So, and it's usually the anxious attachment personalities that develop limerence, or you know, have see somebody as a limerent object, right? So it's almost an obsession. It is kind of like linked to OCD and stuff like that. Not that the person has OCD, by the way, but it's like similar behaviors to OCD, right? So you are that person is like, you know, pretty much you want to be around them all the time. You know, you know, are always hoping that they're okay, and you're basically almost obsessed with them, I suppose, right? So that is what kind of an overview, very brief overview of what limerence is, and it can be a hard thing to break. And like the LO, or the limerent object, has to be kind of understanding of that, because it's not their fault. It's usually a trauma, like it stems from childhood trauma. You develop limerence with someone because of childhood trauma, because of something that you're missing generally, or trauma of some form. Is why you develop limerence with somebody, or see them as a limerent object, because they're fulfilling something in your life that you just didn't receive, right? So if you are honest with your LO about like how you're feeling and all of that, and they can then help you move through that, right? So that's an overview of limerence and limerent objects, just for the purpose of this video, so when I'm talking about it, that you kind of understand what it means. Anyway, I have been rambling for long enough, so I am going to go now. And thank you if you got to the end of my video. Thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Take care of each other. Bye.